Good afternoon, everyone. This is RAND, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, March 11, 2024, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a time for change call this Wednesday night around 9 p.m. Eastern. Realization of the self is realization of God. It is not an experience of God. Rather, it is an understanding that one is God. Very true. We're all kind of like in an incubation chamber. And it's called humanity. And it is designed specifically to bring the state of self-realization into our hearts and minds. Every one of us is a teacher in this mass school, guiding us to finding our spiritual path and discover what it truly means to be enlightened. Everyone's a teacher. Everyone's a student. And we always have been. Things get muddled when we're programmed and conditioned generation after generation about certain things and beliefs. So we don't, it's like you didn't identify immediately with someone and say, oh, they're irritating me, but what are they teaching me? You just said they're irritating me, right? But when we look from a different perspective, everyone is teaching and everyone is learning. So you could kind of say we're both students and teachers and students. It's overlooked a lot. People say, well, when I've said to somebody, well, maybe what do you believe? If they were teaching you, it doesn't mean they know they're teaching you. But if they're teaching you, what would they be teaching you? What would you learn from them? And they learn from you. So all of us, different facets of the one, right? All gods that make up the one God. All gods, pure consciousness, that make up the collective. All of us, a situation, event, circumstance, in our lives, in this now moment, is offering the perfect ingredients necessary for us to get rooted, grow, and blossom into our greatest potentiality. We're all like baby eggs, each destined to hatch, break free from our ego shell, and enjoy this extremely alive, conscious, and deeply juicy existence. One might say, well, there's a lot of things missing. As always, there is nothing, absolutely nothing missing for enlightenment to find its way to us. All of our problems, missed opportunities, and challenging life circumstances are the perfect sacred situations, deliberately designed to inspire us to build our deepest connection to Source and harness a radical creativity. Without these sacred situations, we would be missing something that is like fertilizer. These essential stinky nutrients that make one deepen, evolve, and grow. Life is perfect just the way it is. And we are perfect just the way we are. with all of our desires and attainments, joys and sorrows, securities and insecurities. Life is an enlightenment incubator that cannot be escaped from. We are imprisoned in the destiny to reach enlightenment in this lifetime. In this lifetime. Not 100 lifetimes from now. In this lifetime. Some, however, may go to the next or the next. Our enlightenment is on the divine agenda, the schedule of our soul, and there is nothing we can do to change this. Oh yeah, we can see if we can ignore it, pretend it's not happening, or become distracted by a goal or project that seems to be more important than enlightenment. Yet, still over the course of a lifetime, the karmic agenda remains the same. Our soul's destiny will always be to discover what enlightenment is. You're free. You are in with the God that you are. You're blissful. You're experiencing the God that you are 24/7. That's enlightenment. You don't look at as you did before this discovery. You just don't judge or condemn anything. You love everything and everyone. How can you not? Because every single one has a God within them. And you might find this to be true for you. The most ordinary, typical days of this life often contain the most potent aspects of the enlightenment incubation process. You've heard maybe you've used it yourself, life's simple pleasures are the best. Every personal or business conversation, text message, email, Facebook post, YouTube video we experience are the exact, Steve, for you or any of us, at that moment, are the exact fuel you specifically needed in that moment for you to realize your path to greater freedom. Every moment you are alone, listening to your inner voice, being quiet, or simply doing nothing is also the exact fuel needed. Every challenge, argument, confusion, fear, desire, and indecision is also essential fuel for that moment. In any direction we turn, we find the perfect enlightening fuel is already there, ready to be used. We are surrounded by perfection. And it is only the mind that perceives something else. This planet is the most sacred spiritual birthing ground, which is specifically set up for us to realize our divine nature within its womb. Each day, the sun shines its light on you. It's giving you warmth so you can relax, smile, and experience so many pleasures in this amazing body. You get to enjoy your body each day and how its five senses are always interacting with the outer world. Your physical body is the perfect cocoon for you to go inside, find your soul, sprout your spiritual wings. This universe is constantly giving life to you from the inside. Your heart beating, blood pumping, cells rejuvenating, and breath flowing are life coursing through you. Life is loving you from the inside and the outside. And these two worlds are merged together in a matrix of highly intelligent energy, pure consciousness. At the deepest level, this life is the most deeply eternal loving teacher there is. It requires no payment from you and works every day for you absolutely free of charge. It is constantly offering you free life lessons which help your soul evolve in ways you never knew were possible. And this deep eternal love from this life is so extremely generous. It's always gifting us free sunshine, free air, free ocean water. And if we're courageous and willing, all the free food you can find on the trees, plants, and catch in the oceans. So we truly do live in the divine ocean of loving, intelligent energy that supports every need we have. Even when we get upset, thrown off center, get angry, start to reject life and push love away, this life still continues to feed us, nurture us, breathe our body for us. Life still loves us no matter how we respond to it. The sun never stops shining on you, no matter how irreverent you are with it. You really don't have to do anything but show up and fully be in this moment of your life, right here, right now. And this act of showing up is all about surrender and takes absolutely zero effort. One way to kind of a neat exercise, so to speak, meditation. For 24 hours a day, open yourself to the idea that everyone is enlightened except you. Imagine and pretend that there is this huge pro-Noahic conspiracy the universe has to wake you up. Everybody is a vehicle of for the divine. And every human is your greatest teacher and teaching. Listen to others as if God Him herself was speaking through them. The deeper you listen, the more you will hear the divine direction you're needing to go today. The inner voice is already tuned in, and it will start showing you exactly how to find your way home. Imagine that we are all eagerly waiting for you to become enlightened. We have arrived, and now are patient, yet very excited about you becoming the great enlightening student that you were born to be. Our mission is to serve you, help you step on board the enlightenment train, because you are the very last to arrive. It's not that you are less than anyone, nor missing anything on the inside. This enlightenment exam is just an assignment for the ego, and it will ignite some powerful insights in you, lighting up your spiritual path. The challenge to pretend that everyone is enlightened except you all day long is huge, I know. Yet, take it on as an experiment for the next 3 days. Explore how you and your experience of this life changes. And as you do this experiment, you'll notice how the quality of your listening changes with each day. On day 1, it may be somewhat superficial. And by day 3, you may become lost in the seeing, feeling, and touching the divine everywhere you go. Continue playing with it past day 3, if it's working for you, of course. Noticing what you feel you need to let go of, and how your perception of others and yourself changes. Become more and more aware of the immediate shift in consciousness that is created the moment you choose to step into this enlightenment incubator. Pretending that everyone is enlightened except you is a gigantic task for the ego to take on. So one small word of advice for you is this: be gentle with your teachers. Respect their teaching deeply by paying extra super close attention to what they are really saying underneath it all. Listen to what your next step to finding freedom. Listen to what is your next step to finding freedom. Apply what is really going on in your life and see what it is that you most need to learn. Ask yourself, what do these types of people trigger me and why? Notice what they are pointing at inside you that you don't love about yourself. Listen to what's being said between their words, between your thoughts. Feel deeper into what's actually happening in each new moment, if you want to truly be free. Watch your ego closely and notice how it behaves very much like one of these, like a little kernel of popcorn. It feels small, contracted, protective, hard, and limited in its expression. It's condensed with loads of energy inside that are ready to be fully expressed given the right heated conditions. So you can kind of look at when our juicy emotions, oil with the popcorn, are added on top, nothing happens unless there is some real heat underneath. And as we start feeling into the heated situations we are currently facing in our lives around money, sex, relationships, love, work, health, etc., the heat turns on. And by feeling our feelings fully, deeply, and thoroughly, our energy builds, making the heat even hotter. Eventually we burst open, liberating ourselves from that lightly, tightly contracted, hardened ego self. This life is extremely intelligent. It knows exactly how, where to add a little extra heat to our lives. The popcorn pops on its own accord when the heat reaches the critical point of no return. When the tight protective case around the ego breaks the lightness of our being expands through. Now, when our shell cracks, we begin to taste enlightenment and live beyond our egos. The heat of this life will come whether you want it to or not. You cannot avoid it. It shows up in many mysterious ways and a large variety of forms. It may show up as pressure we create within ourselves from expectations, assumptions, commitments, agreements, promises in our relationships, marriage, with money, sex, work, and health. It may also show up from a lack of pressure we place on ourselves. Meaning, if we are too lazy, living in denial, and ignoring our desires, wants, and needs, we will feel deeply depressed, and this external heat feeling will come from life for us to do something different and make an external change. It's not that enlightenment is the only just some light, fluffy experience. This ego-popping phenomena is the initial introduction to it. Real, everyday enlightenment is living life in a very grounded, real, and always present way that is continually integrating our dark, deep, wounded parts. It's as if the corn kernel gets popped once, then realizes there's another layer of lightness and contraction inside, and then gets repopped again and again, repeating thousands of times every day. You look at the popcorn as the ego. The ego is a contracted state because it's busy holding too tightly on to our beliefs, fears, control, and the need to be right. When we relax, letting the heat of this life come in to expand our minds and hearts in a loving, natural way, the experience of getting popped open by this life is quite powerful and exhilarating. Instead of running from this life, we face it, embrace, and move into and through it. There's no more resistance to the hottest heat, which is all the things we tend to fear and avoid. We choose instead to welcome these challenges as opportunities to manifest a bigger, juicier life. We get out of the way and let life and its amazingness come truly in. That's why we talk about fighting life. Fight life. Fight death. Fight love. Fight peace. Fight happiness. All of this, we fight it. Every now and then I like to describe in depth on what love is. Love is infinitely patient and intentionally kind. It is the deep, sweet nectar found inside our very soul. Love is this softness that opens our heart and quiets our mind. It accepts every aspect of who we are and who we are not. Love knows us, believes in us, and clearly sees exactly where we are in our lives. It has no limitations on what is and is not acceptable inside you. There are no boundaries around what love can and cannot approve of. It welcomes all your parts, inviting in the worst aspects of you with a warm, fuzzy heart and joyous, sparkling eyes. Love is the light that shines the way in the darkest hour of our lives. It ignites the fire that guides our spiritual path, beckoning us to rise up and out from our darkest misery to surrender and merge with great healing source of our being. Love is always fearless, always courageous, and always present. It is never wrong, never misguided, and is never, ever afraid. It is the perfect state that cannot be improved upon. It is always accessible, always available, and always, always, always here, now. Love is always generous, completely abundant, and constantly giving to others as well as to itself. It is like the sun, an inexhaustible outpouring of life energy that shares its bliss for the pure, exhilarating joy of it. It is the eternal, infinite, inexhaustible source of this life. Love says we deserve even more love, especially when we don't feel worthy of it. It invites us to surrender all of our resistance and remember how perfect, sacred, and utterly lovable we all truly are. Love feels all of our pain with ourselves, holding our hand through our life's most panicked moments and never letting go. Love honors our deepest wounds, helping us to see how they are our greatest teachers. It is absolute empathy, sympathy, and has the most profound compassion possible for you. Love breaks down the walls of what we think is not possible, inspires us to step into our life mission and highest potentiality. Love is the flame that ignites the great bonfire within us, needed to burn through our limiting beliefs so we can manifest the most amazing life imaginable. Love is the most amazing experience that we can have in this entire universe. It is the most gentle, exquisite feeling that is conscious, sacred, sweet, and tender. It holds us so softly and with such a strength that it sends tingles all the way up our spine. Love is the cure for every physical dis-ease, every mental illness, and unbearable emotional wounding we may have. Love opens and relaxes every tension, immediately liberating us from all anxiety and worry, invoking love into our body. It heals us instantly, awakening every cell to remember absolute perfection. Love is the doorway to eternal life. Love is devotion itself, fully committed to expanding our hearts into our lives. Love is the deepening and softening of our breath that awakens the healing process of our soul. It is the permanent, authentic smile within us, forever giggling at our worries, knowing the deepest possible joy is the foundation of our existence. Love paves the path for the greatest orgasmic experience of our lives. It transforms ordinary sex into a sacred healing experience. Love unites lovers to merge and melt into one divine source. It is the most personal, intimate, and deeply sensual experience we can have. Love is the spiritual energy that brings the highest form of life into existence. When we drop who we think we are, we then become who we really are. The body, the faces, the mask, all of it. Imagine it just melting away. And the end result is you, shining ever so brightly, pulsating with waves of deep eternal love, cascading all over the planet. When you go within this meditation, when you're in and you are focused on the breath and it rising and falling, you have a completely unfettered, open line of communication with the God that you are within that body. We are seeking, all of us, some form of liberation in this world because we have created, I'm not going to say all of us, I will say a lot of us. We have created a prison around ourselves to break free, and to break free from the prison is all in the mind. And once we understand what the walls of our inner jail are made of, belief systems and thought structures, we can dig our way out. The seemingly solid bars around us are ephemeral, mental, emotional patterns that define who we are. And what we are not. The good news is that these personal beliefs formed about ourselves are highly malleable and will change when we are willing to see them for what they are. Our beliefs, there's no getting around it, are omnipotently powerful. They extend an imposed version of reality out into this world, forming an imaginary construct upon the blank canvas of this universe, molding the all-intelligent, creative energy that surrounds us and is then reflected back to us. The reality we see each day shows up in a type of emotional sunglasses we are wearing. Our personal belief systems create a certain filter, giving life a specific texture, shade, and continuity to color how we see everything in our world, as well as the end of the day experiencing of who we are. To unravel oneself is one of the most amazing explorations we can have in this life. It's a process of perceiving, accepting, honoring, and releasing each belief we hold about ourselves to be true and not so true. Now, if you stop to think about what beliefs you have about you, you might start wondering, where did this belief about myself come from? How does it happen that we start defining who we are and who we are not? You might say, where did this belief about myself come from? How does it happen that we start defining who we are and who we are not? Why do we believe these thoughts about ourselves, even if they are not serving us and enslaving us? These are the questions I invite you to sit with and see where they lead you. Remember, it's a perpetual unwrapping of the infinite energy. And the answers are not as important as to what the question awakens within your consciousness. Join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. Take an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Ask for what you really want. Send out a clear, heartfelt intention into the infinite loving universe that every desire you have is effortlessly manifesting for you. Take this moment to stop and relax into feeling this intention is real right now. Become 100% absorbed in knowing that all of your dreams are already coming your way. Surrender to understanding that a great manifestation power is already working within you, doing its job perfectly. Fantastic. It's already done. And yes, your main wish for today is manifesting for you very soon. The cool thing is that you didn't even have to say abracadabra. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and following morning. You'll return here Tuesday, March 12, 2024, around 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening within you or around you.